I'm really good at thinking like Kyle Shanahan and scouting football players. It's really what I do. Okay. No
Those are the
one's
first two
paid me
things.
yet to do this, but they will soon. So we agree that Christian McCaffrey's skill set is utterly irreplaceable and indispensable to this offense. You take him out and replace him with a guy like Jordan Mason, who only gives you 5 yards a carry, but isn't really a threat as a receiver, the whole thing falls apart. Okay, so they got to find that particular skill set. And you're thinking, well, that's tough, right? Because what running back can really be a receiver like McCaffrey? True. Super rare to find someone like that. And it's not just someone who can like catch a pass. It's someone who's like 5'11", who can actually motion out to wide receiver and run some of those routes and have to be honored like that. That's what makes him so special. He's different than Deebo Samuel, who didn't really have a position. Christian's kind of can play two positions. That's what's so interesting about him. Okay, that's my spiel. So if you're looking in the draft, you might want to look for a wide receiver, not a running back, because he's built like a wide receiver. He's 5'11", 195, 200 pounds soaking wet. He's a wide receiver. And again, the skill set you're trying to find isn't you always are going to be able to find runners who can average 5 yards a carry in your offense. Garendo can do that. Anyone can do that. You're looking for the receiving element. And so I found a guy who was a wide receiver built like a running back, 5'10 and a half, 195 pounds, who's even more explosive than Christian McCaffrey ever was. And he's available in round 3. Because people look at him as a wide receiver who's a little too small and a little not good enough running routes. But if you think of him as a dual threat, if you think of him as a running back, I think he's the pick for the Niners in round 3. His name is Jalen Knoll from Iowa State. This guy is 5'10 and a half. He ran a 4.39. Look at all of his testing numbers. They're better than McCaffrey's. The only one McCaffrey got him in was the 3-cone. This guy's explosive as hell, and he could be, they say he's a slot receiver. You could do that, or you could put him in the backfield, and no one could cover him. I'm just saying, I bet you that the 49ers will draft Jalen Knoll in round 3, and they won't say why, but he will be their Christian McCaffrey insurance because they have to have someone who has that skill set.
I like that idea. I will say I do like that idea, and that could be like an actual good fit for the team. My only issue with that idea is that I did see the Niners, Kyle, a lot of other people talking about how this year they're drafting for starters. My only question is going after a CMC backup in the draft where you're saying that, does that add up? And does that really...
Let me make the case for it. That's a great question. The reason I would say it's so important is because they could get a starting D end and a starting D tackle and a starting linebacker, and they could all be really good. But if McCaffrey gets hurt and misses 10, 12 games, they're royally screwed. They're not winning without him. I think we saw it last year. You could blame it on Ayuk or the defense, but I think that team fell apart without Christian McCaffrey. I think maybe it's an oversimplification, but I thought they had no identity without him.
I do think it's a little bit of an oversimplification. Like last season, I really loved the way Garendo played personally. I thought Garendo looked really good. I think he's kind of like a new Raheem Mostert for that team. Really, really fast, like so fast.
But I think that's kind of what was ironic about or interesting about it. It wasn't that they didn't get production from their running backs. It's that for whatever reason, Purdy wasn't as efficient without him. The red zone offense fell apart without him. Like it seemed like it brought out the worst in Kyle and Brock in particular, not having Christian there. It didn't, Jordan Mason stepped up, Garendo stepped up, and it wasn't enough. It wasn't nearly enough.
Yeah, those red zone numbers last season were some of the worst possible by that team. They were incredibly bad. And having McCaffrey, who we remember before had like how many straight games touchdowns? I don't even remember the exact number, but it was way too many. It was so many straight games where he was scoring.
Ender says, was Jalen Hurd that great preseason wide receiver running back that never played a snap? Kyle's first attempt at getting a CM. Yes. 3rd round. I'm telling you. Jalen Knoll, round 3. He's going to be a running back for the 49ers. They're going to draft him to play a new position.
I wouldn't be shocked. I just wouldn't be shocked if they did it. It would make sense. I would just be confused why you say that quote of we're drafting starters and then do that. Like that's the only thing. And they're just going to make themselves look worse if they do that. I feel like even if he's really good, I just think it's a bad look for them if they do that.
Yeah. Well, they have 2 third-round picks. Maybe they take him with the second third-round pick, although I don't know if he'll be there at 100 or 97, whatever it is.
Right.
But this is my prediction. I mean, like they can always get running backs. They can get a guy as an undrafted free agent who could go for 1,000 yards as a rookie. No problem. But they have not been able to find difference maker receivers out of the backfield like McCaffrey. And I don't know, it seems to have become their cheat code, their key to success. Especially if Brock's going to be their quarterback long term. I don't know.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing too, especially because if McCaffrey looks way worse now after his injuries and stuff like that, then the pick makes way more sense, like then I can back it more. I still think there's too many holes on this team for them to be like, okay, well, we really have to go for this guy. Unless, like you're saying, he's that damn good. If he's that damn good, then go for it, But
one of the nice things about him too, big time special teams player, kick returner, punt returner. And it seems like they're changing the kickoff rule again. You get to start at the 35 now. I think they're really trying to encourage teams to return the kickoff, and the Niners don't have a kickoff returner. Look, I guess what I'm saying is I'm not saying that this is going to be the right pick, Jalen Knoll. I'm just saying it's going to be the pick. It's going to happen.
You're just saying that the Niners like
this is what's going to happen,
which it is.
Yes, I figured it out. I channeled Kyle Shanahan's brain. You ever seen that movie Being John Malkovich? You haven't seen this movie.
No,
you're a little too young. Okay, it's about this guy is John Cusack, and he's at work, and he like goes into this small little crawl space, and you walk in, and then all of a sudden you get to be John Malkovich for about 15 minutes. Have you heard of John Malkovich?
Yeah,
actor.
Yeah,
okay, so you're in his you see what he sees, and then all of a sudden after 15 minutes you get dumped out on the side of the New Jersey Turnpike, and then he tells people about it, and people start anyway.
That seems like one of the worst things possible.
I had that moment. It was a Kyle Shanahan moment, and then I got dumped out on the side of a New Jersey Turnpike.
I'd like to think more that you're just on a more reference that I'll get. I'd like to think that you're just Kyle Shanahan's innie. Like you're the version of him that just like you just know. You just know what to do.
I just know.